Hello and welcome to the root of all stuff, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're going to do a whole different episode. Try to, I don't know if we're going to lighten the mood, but we're going to shift it a different direction than the last episode. In the last episode, we went through the shitty, chaotic year of 2020. And I know that was rough for me and also rough for my wonderful co-host who's on here with me today, as always, Mr. Josh Lutz. Josh, say hey to everybody.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Yes, it was a rough year. Absolute fecal dump.
Oh, yeah, it was bad. So I know the last episode was a little drawn and hard to get through just because we was going through the dateline and stuff. But hell, we only got through half the year till we said really shit on it, and then just had to just stop because it was as painstaking for us as it was making it as it was for y'all to listen to. So we're gonna try to shift gears a little bit today. Not too much. Don't expect
And we got
anything too great because we're just us.
exactly, and we got through the half of the year before shit really hit the fan,
Yeah.
and it was that bad. So
Oh God.
you guys know you were there, you lived through it just like we did.
Yeah. So today we're just gonna shift gears and we're just gonna get back to more of the root of things, seeing as how we are the root of all stuff. And mentioning that, I do want to leave in for our audience. You know where we stand. You don't have to agree with us, but we hope you'll continue to listen, even if you get pissed. And if you disagree, that's fine. We're cool with that here. You can talk with us about it. We'll have you on, or if you don't want to be on, we'll talk. We'll converse some other way if we need to. But please feel free to contact us anytime. We have an email address. It is the root of all stuff, one word, at gmail.com. And Josh, we're on Facebook as well, right?
Yes, sir. We're on Facebook at the root of all stuff.
We got a Facebook page up and we have a group up. The page is what you're going to want to go to write us in comments, throw in a post, whatever you want to do. Like, we're also posted up about everywhere except for a few little places. But I won't mention those by name just because for one, I really don't know what they are at the moment. But we are most places you can get podcasts. Some places we haven't quite got updated yet, but I'll get onto that as soon as I can. But we're on YouTube as well, so you can always find us there on our channel, The Root of All Stuff. And yeah, please shoot us an email, shoot us a message on Facebook. We will, if you have any questions or anything you want to be heard about on the show, a topic you want to be brought up, anything, just contact us and we will try to get to it. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. And today, honestly, we're going into this flat, no plan, really. We're kind of winging it here. So Josh is definitely going to have to help me out today. So,
Oh, yes.
and we may go on some tangents. We may go on some tirades. And you remember, if you're listening, this is recorded, so you can fast forward through bits if you want. I don't recommend that, but it is an option. Please, if you can listen to it all. Sorry, what?
You might miss something good.
All right, you might miss being bored. We don't know. I don't know. Hopefully, if you're listening, you enjoy the show. So today, we're going to start out basically by just throwing questions at each other, me and Josh, or Josh and I, to be grammatically correct, even though I'm not most of the time. Part of which is probably because other things. But so Josh, I'm gonna let you go ahead and fire away. Shoot me whatever question comes to mind. What do you got, man?
All right, man, I got you one.
All right.
In your honest opinion, what event or I guess happening do you think would have the ability to break the internet?
To
You know,
break
people joke about, oh, this broke the internet, this broke the internet. No, the internet's still strong. What would it take to shut down pretty much the entire world?
Well, I'm not sure. See, I understand those go hand in hand in some people's opinion. Now, the loss of the internet definitely would affect people globally for sure. But we also have to keep in mind there are certain regions that don't have internet access now. And, you know, we've had rules. Oh, by the way, guys, sorry, while I'm answering this question, sorry, Josh. If you hear the dogs are barking, nothing I can do about it. Everybody who's listened to the show knows my situation. Yes, I have a lot of animals in the house. They might bark in the background, and I can't edit it out all the time. Sorry, I don't have that much time. But just remember, you know, they're animals. They can't help it. They're adorable. But anyway, sorry, back to the question. What would break the internet? To be honest, objectively, I have no idea. I have no idea. But in my opinion, subjectively, I think government, if there was some mass conspiracy like people love to believe in, like we talked about before, me not so much, you I don't think so much. But if something came to play, some, you know, crazy shit just went down and governments all over the world were being threatened with something, that might be a reason, you know, that, you know, if we could work together on a mass scale, like as far as governments globally, they may be able to somewhat shut that down. But in other cases, I don't know, because it's also private. I mean, I say objectively, I have no idea, man. That's the honest answer. I have no clue what would break the internet. But honestly, it wasn't that long ago. Like, you and I are old enough to remember a time where shit, we didn't have internet, or if we did, you and I at least didn't have access to it, right? Like, I remember dial up and how grand and glorious that was back in the day, and I know you do too. And I remember, our first family computer in a room, you know, things of that nature. It was, you know, things were not awesome back then, but they were awesome enough. I mean, comparatively, you know.
I mean, you have to think, you know, the things we had back then, like a 4-bit computer.
Yeah.
Was groundbreaking when we saw it for the first time. We were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, or just the simple fact that you could play a game on a computer. You were like, oh, you know, and then they came out with the 5-inch floppy, and you were like, Jesus Christ, how much? That's so much information you can hold on that thing.
Oh yeah. Like, and even before our times, like I know my father was talking about, you know, computers that they like filling up rooms. He can, you know, remember how crazy they thought that was, or cell phones even, like, you know, because they're, you know, basically what's going to be replacing most computers, I feel, is a subjective opinion further in the future. But I mean, I remember, you know, hell, I remember before cell phones were huge, you know, I mean, and I remember my dad and me having that conversation about, one of his teachers told him that one day we would have phones and be able to like drive in our cars and take them anywhere and things like that. And he was like, and he remembered, this is what my father was telling me. He's like, I remember thinking, that's going to be a hell of a lot of line. How are you going to lay that out on the street? And they like phone line, you know, so, I mean, it is amazing what science and technology has given us. And that in and of itself is a wonderful thing, but it can be used for bad. It's not the technology that's evil, it's how people use it. It's not the science that's evil, it's how people use it that makes it good or bad, you know, the ethics of it. You know, it's like some people don't like drinking. Me, I like it all right. I'm not you know, I don't do it to excess all the time a lot, you know. This is probably the first alcoholic beverage I've had in probably 2 months, 3 months, something like that. And it in and of itself, in my opinion, is not a good or a bad thing. It's how we use it. Now, if I sit here and get sloshed and then go out and try to drive a car, which is a poor idea and I don't recommend it, then that's obviously a bad thing. You know? So, but if I just enjoy a beer, don't get drunk to excess or anything like that and get out of hand, in my opinion, not a bad thing. I understand some folks might differ in opinion. And remember, you are entitled to your own opinion. And you can disagree with me. You'd just be wrong. But sorry, that was a little arrogant. I know. I don't mean that wholeheartedly. So bear with me. Anyway, so yeah, that's a good question. What would break the internet? Man, I don't know. Honest answer. Final answer. I don't know. Let me shoot you one.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. So all right, let me bring up something relevant that we've actually talked about on the show a few times about, we tell people, for example, like I just said, you're entitled to your own opinion. No one's entitled to their own facts. We agree with that, and we've stated that several times on the show. And that's the difference, like things being objective and subjective. Like this postcard that I'm holding in my hand, for those of you who are watching the video, and for those of you listening, I got an index card. I'm just holding it in my hand. It exists. Now, for the people watching the video that are seeing it in my hand, that's an objective thing. For the people listening, that's kind of subjective because they can't really see it, right? They're just taking my word for it.
Right.
Now, it seems to me, and this is sort of subjective, that more and more people recently, as far as the population as a whole in this country, in the US, have started clinging on to more of a subjective rationality than an objective reality, meaning they care more about what is making them feel good or their opinion. They think that everything that they think up is a fact. At what point or what event do you think made that happen to where people and mass numbers are just no longer giving a crap about the reality you and I must share and things that are real and true in reality, caring about the truth? That's basically it. And care more about what comforts them, makes them feel good, things of that nature. What do you got on that?
That is, that's a good one. Damn, damn.
Take your time.
In my opinion, when we started to shift away from what is fact to what is whatever makes you feel good, I think maybe here, at least in the last 10, 15 years, has been a sort of a cascade of different things. Trying to figure out how to put this into words. The whole mindset of I'm right, you're wrong, just because I think it is it's gained a lot of momentum. And as far as how or where or when, I really couldn't tell you. Mm-hmm. But it really did take off like a grassroots movement.
Yeah, it seems to. That's see, I agree. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut off your answer. I agree. I see what you're saying. I just don't know when or what may necessarily triggered it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's strange, right?
Well, I mean, it might have been a multitude of different things.
Probably.
Yeah, me out of personal experience, and even you, when we went to school, when we were in school, when we were younger.
Oh, way back in the day. Yeah, me and Josh, man, we walked to school in the snow uphill both ways.
15 miles for me. I don't know how much it was for you. I had to do that with the sun beating down on my bare back.
Yeah.
And but when we were in school, you didn't get a trophy unless you won.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of gave you a goal,
mm-hmm.
and it gave you the groundwork to lay out a frame to achieve that goal. Well, then they started giving trophies to everybody.
And participation.
Yeah, if everybody wins, You forget how to lose.
Well, I see your point, and to some extent, I agree with that. Like, I remember certain things. Like, I played some sports for the local recreation department, and at the end of the season, they did give everybody a little trophy, or a little pamphlet or a certificate or something, a participation award, basically. Now, it didn't tell me I won because we sure didn't, because probably because of me, to be honest. But honestly, that I don't see as a bad thing, rewarding people for at least putting forth an effort. Now, what you're saying that I agree with is if they went ahead and said, no matter who won, you all get the exact same award, there's nothing extra to shoot for, so why even play the damn game, right? I mean, that's what I get what you're saying there.
You're going to stop putting forth the effort,
right?
And you're going to become complacent.
Right.
Now, like I said, I don't know if that holds any merit to the question, but somewhere along the line, society as a whole adopted the view that if it makes you feel good, it's got to be right.
I'm sorry, say that again.
If it makes you feel good, it's got to be right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and yeah. that is
more and more people started taking on that mindset, and it became just a giant sheep movement. And it doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. If there are millions of them, they are the majority.
Yeah.
And it is dangerous to be right when the majority is wrong.
Right. It's that fallacy of popularity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how we got there, but we are there. And I hope that we can go.
I tell you what bothers me about that too. What you said is 100% correct. However, you and I have ran into people who suffer from using these fallacies, as we've stated, and who use those exact same arguments to try to defend their fallacy, which is just mind-blowing to me. First it confuses me, then it pisses me off when you realize they know better. But then if they don't know better, it's kind of just saddening. It makes you feel just like, oh man, poor guy, or poor person. Like, what's wrong with like the like what you said, complacency and people following everything, or the crowd, or wherever they go with whatever they go with. I've heard so many people from a particular political standpoint, won't go, but talk about how people are weak and snowflakes and they're just sheeple following the herd, blah blah blah, when they're doing exactly that. It's like the pot calling the kettle black, the hypocrisy, the projection they are using, in their arguments, like, and because the exact same people, not all the time, but a lot of the time, saying that are exactly those people who are whining and bitching, being snowflakes, and following the misinformation and ridiculous cult they've got into, which, I discussed on the last episode. So we won't get into that, but you see what I'm getting at. And I'm not saying that started it, because it's been going on longer than that for sure, but that didn't help.
No, it didn't. And people shifted more from, I would say in the last 10, 15 years, people shifted more from what made them feel good to what was popular, no matter what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's always baffled me what becomes popular and what doesn't. But I mean, I know there's reasons, but I don't understand. Because some things suck, in my opinion. And again, I understand this is all subjective, but that's just it. And that's fine. Subjective things are fine. I'm not shitting on subjectivity here. I'm not completely, anyway. In some form, I am. But especially when it comes to relinquishing a grasp on objectivity, things that are real in reality that we all can agree on to be true and fact. You know?
Exactly.
So, who asked the last question?
You did.
All right, go ahead. Fire away, man.
All right, here's a good one for you.
All right.
In your opinion, what is the closest thing to real magic that you can think of?
Real magic.
Real magic.
The closest thing to real magic. Science. Simply because it is the greatest tool humans have ever conceived of finding out what's objectively true. And sometimes that is very counterintuitive. For example, no, don't get me wrong, I love illusionists and magic shows and things like that. I'm just not under the illusion that they're real. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
things like
dogs going
sleight
off.
of hand and visual
Sure,
illusions.
sure. Things that
if you know it's real, you can come down to the point of, well, is this guy any good at what he does?
Right, and it's a skill, right? It's something that's acquired skill they learn, right? But it can be explained through science. They're doing it some way, right? So,
right.
So as far as real, the closest thing to real magic, I would say, is science and how we use it. Like, for example, you take someone from the 15th century, pop them into today, and I sit them right here next to me with all these computer monitors and your face on it, and me and you talking right now. That is magic to that person. They're like, "What witchcraft is this?" I mean, yeah, to them that's beyond their comprehension, and that's what science does. It helps us to find things that were previously beyond our comprehension. So, yeah, that's my answer to that one. So,
right on. That's actually the answer I was looking for.
oh yeah, you had it waiting.
Like I said, if you could take someone from the 15th, 16th century and stick them right here, and show them some of the things that we take for granted today, like a cell phone, laptop, microphone, an ink pen,
lights.
That would all be magic to them because, with their knowledge, they can't explain it.
Sure.
We've come that far.
Now.
Put them in a car and take them down the road and watch them lose their shit because they're going so fast.
Yeah. So that right there is part of an answer, I think, to what I was getting at. So that to them is magic, that they can't comprehend it. But if you sat them down and had a long enough time with them, you could help them wrap their brain around it, right? Like if you could just explain it to them from a engineering and scientific standpoint, how these things work, how it wasn't magic, and how they actually worked, they would understand. Now, but right away, they don't understand. Now, here's the problem. Sorry, the dogs are going ape shit. So I should. All right, hopefully he's done. All right, he's just up there whining because he has to go to bed. Poor Finnegan. So sorry, I got a little distracted. So, but yeah, so if you have someone now who sees something they don't understand, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as if you brought somebody from the past to now. But the problem arises when those people try to explain things they don't know. For example, they start pulling out things that they just either made up or sounds reasonable, and then they conclude that to be it without any further investigation whatsoever, right? Like, oh, that TV screen, that's just an evil witch box that he used some sorcerer power on. Or let's think of a modern one. Oh, the government, man, they're just trying to keep us down and control everything we do. And even though I have no evidence to back it up, the election was stolen. Similar. Yeah, similar.
Right.
So I'm gonna try to mute myself when I'm not talking here. Try to keep this barking to a minimum.
People always, well, I don't know about always, but some people, they like to attribute fallacy towards the unknown.
Yeah. And part of that's human nature. Like, I ain't just shitting on people here.
Right.
But it's true.
Right. They have to, like, it's in their mind, that it would give it, well, I don't know. Like, for some people, I know it gives them closure to assign things they don't know to a higher power, or to assign things they don't understand to, well, that's just the way it is, which I freaking hate when people say that.
Right. Well, all right.
Of course, it's the way it is.
Why? Right. So in some ways, I understand that people might think there's some hypocrisy on that, because I have said it is what it is. Except when I say it is what it is. Now, of course, but when people say it and they don't know what they're talking about, that's what annoys me. Like, it is what it is, and when you just ask them a question, and you're just like, of course it is. Nothing is what it isn't, and especially when they're saying something that isn't. For example, like, it is what it is. Yeah, well, it also is what it ain't, and it ain't what the hell you're saying. Does that mean you're like, yeah,
exactly? It's come back, thought. I just had you. Damn it.
it's all right. Take it.
Or well, that's just the way it happens. Yes, we know this.
Oh, I love that explanation.
Oh man,
it's always been that way.
Of course,
It's always been that way. Because I've never experienced anything else, and I can't imagine a world where things that don't follow directly into my life experience happen.
Exactly. Such a mad, mad world we live in.
Yeah, so true. All right, who asked the last one? I'm bad at this.
I did.
Didn't
you? Yep.
All right, so let's go to the next one. Let's see what I can pull out. Let me open up a fresh, not Pepsi here. Nice. All right. Do you think it is feasible that humanity will ever get to a point where we will overlook, like, for example, one of my great heroes was Carl Sagan, and he, Pale Blue Dot was an amazing read, an amazing thing that Carl Sagan did, and he mentioned, the lack of, when you look at the Earth from space, you don't see all those imaginary lines that are on maps, like borders, etc., things that divide us. Everything the way he described it, which is accurate. Everything you've ever known, or everyone you've ever known, and everything that's ever lived throughout, history, has all been on that pale blue dot, right? So, do you think that it's feasible that humanity will eventually get to a point to where we can collectively understand that and overlook these imaginary lines, get rid of these divisive ideals and philosophies, and come together and work together in mass, or not? What do you think?
I certainly think that it's possible. Dare I say feasible, but it's going to take a lot of work, and it's not going to happen overnight. First thing we have to do is to get rid of our petty grievances with each other. Because some of the things that we don't agree on are just freaking stupid.
Yeah, like things that are objectively true.
Exactly. My big fear is that it will take a massive event. And I don't know what type of event it would be, but it would have to be on a global scale. Drought, famine, blight, something like that, to bring us together. Because going back to a little bit of the history I've lived through, I have only seen a handful of times our country, the United States of America, come together. And that's one country out of how many? 192, 194?
Oh yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. Like 9/11 and the events that followed.
Yeah,
Now that's only to a certain extent though, too, because that had a more of a unifying thing, but it also had a super dividing thing as well. You know, because you look at how people are treating, you know, people of different ethnicities now, or religions and things of that nature. Like they, you know, you got people who cannot get out of their bull crap long enough to understand that, hey, just because you don't agree with that person doesn't mean you have to hate them, and you know, we all have to live on this planet together, so it makes more sense to get along. Some people just can't, you know, but that's two thoughts, and that's one more than they can handle, it seems.
they can't fathom that. And the last time I saw, you know, unity on that kind of scale was after 9/11. It took that, which is sad beyond measure.
Terrible.
Uh,
Terrible. Now, here's something that's gonna make you feel old. Sorry. Here's something that's gonna make you feel old. Come September, that's 20 years ago.
20
man.
years. 20 damn years. Yeah. I can still remember where I was and what I was doing. I can remember watching the second plane hit the tower, and that's when we all knew that it wasn't an accident.
Yep. And like our whole school day was just basically shut down. Like every class we went to, that was what we were watching, because it was real. Like we was already watching the news, and it panned to just after the first plane had hit. But I don't remember why we were watching the news. It was something happening in the news that was somehow related to what we were studying or something. But we happened to already be watching the news, and we had saw immediately after the first plane hit, and we didn't know whether it was an accident or what was happening. And then we watched live the second plane hit the World Trade Center. And then, you know, we heard about, and then we watched as more unfolded as far as the plane that hit the Pentagon, the plane that went down over Pennsylvania. It was a terrible day. But that, see, and that's the shame of it. I hate that it takes sometimes such a tragic and terrible event for us just to, you know, unify a little bit. And it shouldn't take that. It should just be something that we agree on is good for the common good for everyone. You understand?
Yeah. You know, for us to unify, we all have to be on the same accord. We all have to be on the same wavelength. And a lot of people are not. And a lot of people just steadfastly refuse to be like, well, I'll come join your party, but they're not invited. I don't like them because they dress different, or I don't like them because they have a different set of moral values. We got to get rid of all that bullshit.
Yep.
You know, if we can come together and understand that war, we have one earth, we have one life, and that is it. If we fuck this planet up, there's going to be nothing left for the ones that come after.
No, and there are people that suffer from now as grand and glorious as this seems. There are people that think, you know, because it is feasible that we travel to another planet and eventually over millennia terraform it to be more like Earth. But how about this? How about we just fix Earth?
Yeah.
You know, first, like, how the hell do you expect us to do all that shit when we just, you know, screwed up the planet we came from?
Exactly. You know,
that's just not feasible to me. Now, as far as it being a feasible idea now of us, you know, being able to potentially travel to Mars and, you know, make things happen, that is true. That we could theoretically do that. However, like I said, if we can't learn to live together on this planet and figure out how to make it work, what gives us the delusion of grandeur that we are going to be able to make it happen anywhere else?
Exactly. You know, it makes no sense to even try. You know, we'll just be taking the same wars, the same hatred to somewhere else, a new playground, which is kind of a bad choice of words, but it conveys the message.
Yep. Now, for those of you hearing this hum behind me, for anybody watching the video, y'all can see this big air unit back here in my basement. It just kicked on because it's cold as shit outside. It's like I don't even know. It's damn near freezing if it ain't. So of course my heat's running, and again, I understand I got some background noise. I can only edit so much, guys. I'm just one guy. I don't have a super budget for a studio and sound, reduction and all this. But thank you for listening. I'm sorry. Like I say, I'll try to mute it when I shut the hell up, and you might get annoyed at me. Like, let's just go shut the fuck up every now and then. I understand. So I will do my best to try to keep the background to a minimum, but I do still have dogs going ape shit upstairs. I do have an air unit kicking on because I am a real man living in a real house trying to put on this real show for you. That is sometimes a struggle in and of itself, but I love doing it, and I appreciate you guys listening. Please keep listening to us. I understand, we hit dull lulls and things like that, but I think hopefully we'll get better as the show goes on in time. So, who had that last question? Again, I suck at this.
I believe it was you.
All right, fire away.
I'm gonna have to think. Let me think. I can hear the elevator music playing.
You sure that ain't just the sound of this air unit and this dog?
No, it's coming from my end. All right, here you go. Here's one.
All right, what you got?
If you could sit down with one person from history who is no longer with us.
I think I already asked this, didn't I? No, I didn't. Never mind. Go ahead.
I think so. If you could sit down with one person from history who is no longer with us and have a talk, just talk to them, chew on their ear, get their input. Didn't matter how long it took. Who would you choose?
Wow. Only one.
Only one.
Oh, shit. One person in history that I would sit down and have a conversation with. That is deceased. That's no longer with us.
Right.
Well, man, there's so many. I have a laundry list of this. Well, since I mentioned them once in this already, listen, guys. I mean, honestly, the honest answer is I don't know. I don't know, just because I have so many greats that I would love to sit down and chew the beef with and just see what it would be like and hear what their thoughts and things were. But just because I've already mentioned them in the show, I'm going to throw out Carl Sagan, and that's true because I would love to talk to Carl Sagan. That would be amazing. But also, like I say, anybody, Newton, Einstein. I mean, Isaac Asimov. I mean, anybody. Just whoever. I've got a laundry list. Richard Feynman. I would love to talk to. There's a lot. There's a whole list of folks that are no longer with us, unfortunately, that I would love to sit and have a conversation with. But that's so. The honest answer is I don't know. The subjective answer, as for this show, just because I've already mentioned him, Carl Sagan. So
Carl Sagan. That's a good answer.
So just out of morbid curiosity, and since that was a good one, and it got me on the spot. Same question to you.
Same question to me. I would have to say, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Gandhi.
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 need a translator. Hey, my heat cut off. Cool. Sorry, everyone who's listening and watching.
I would.
And now the dog's gonna go ape shit. Sorry. Go ahead, man. Gandhi.
Life, man. Gandhi. And I would, you know, in a lot of ways, he was. Man, I don't know if I would say it like this, but it's the only thing coming to mind is he was pretty much the moral opposite of Hitler.
Well, yeah.
Whereas Hitler ruled through force and execution, Gandhi promoted peace and brought millions of people together.
Yeah. I don't even know what I would ask him. Like, all right, so there's all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into that segue. I'm gonna ask you, what would be all right? You're in a alternate universe and you're sitting down with Gandhi. All right, let's say you got an hour to sit and chew the beef, ask him, talk to him about whatever you want. All right, what's the first thing you ask Gandhi?
Now, is he up to date on current events?
Sure. Why not? Why not? Yeah. Yeah.
I would ask him what he would do to extinguish the division in this nation. If there was a set way through nonviolent, peaceful assembly that he could do that, I would ask him what his input would be on that. And then I would try, if I couldn't do it myself, to at least influence somebody higher up to try and implement that.
That's good. That's good. I have no idea what his response would be, by the way. It would be eye-opening for sure. So I asked that question. I'm gonna let you go ahead and fire off another one if you got one.
Well, I'm gonna keep going on the same vein.
Okay, go ahead.
One question you would ask Carl Sagan.
The first question or the only?
First question.
Okay, the first question. First question for Carl Sagan. First question, just to open the conversation. What do you think the greatest scientific discovery as far as astronomy has been? And he's up to date, right? And why? And could you explain it to me a little better? Sorry, that's more than one question. I know. I mean, I wouldn't know, man. I'd be just like starstruck. Like, I have no idea what to say to you, sir. Can you sign this? Can you sign it?
It's kind of mind-boggling when you think about it. You know,
it is.
There's
honestly, I don't know.
Different people that I would love to ask one question to. Just 1,000 people.
I know, but like I say, that would and as far as the people and the questions, I don't know, man. There is a lot. There is a lot, and that's why it's important for us now to communicate with each other, to listen to podcasts, to make podcasts, or to speak, to communicate, to get information, to accurate information, and to, be good to people and try to understand and empathize and reason and listen. Because, one day we're all not going to be around, or somebody that you wish you could have talked to. Like right now, man, there are days I can hear both of my grandfathers. I can hear their voices in my head. And there's so many things that I regret that I didn't discuss with them before they passed. It's a shame. So the time we have here on this earth is limited. So I think it's very important that we communicate with each other, have talks like me and you are having, have conversations with people. Try to maybe not get so pissed because someone just doesn't share your opinion. Now, me, if you don't share my opinion, yeah, I'm going to think you're wrong, but I'm not going to get pissed. We're going to have a conversation about it. And at the end of the day, even if we still disagree, doesn't mean I hate you. How about that?
Exactly.
How about we do that? You know? Now, like I'm sure there's people out there who disagree with me on like at a core level. And that's fine. I don't hate you. I hope you don't hate me. But if you do, like your problem, man. It's like your problem. So yeah. Yeah, it's definitely it's interesting today because we're recording this today. It's Saturday, January 23rd, and unfortunately, we lost one of our great communicators today, Mr. Larry King, that passed at the age of 87. Oh, there goes my heat again. Great, but man, there's a guy I would like. He has done so many miraculous. Well, I wouldn't say miraculous, but spectacular and wonderful interviews with people from all walks of life. And I would love to have, maybe interviewed him about his interviews. I know people have done it, but, I didn't get to ask him what I wanted to. I know, our audience probably didn't get to ask them what they wanted to. So that is definitely a big loss. And, that's a shame. That's unfortunate. But his legacy, I'm sure, will go on.
Oh, yes.
So, what you got, Josh? Go ahead and fire away, man.
Let me see. There you go. What, in your opinion, will be the next huge technological breakthrough?
Oh man, the next, when you
Like
say huge,
the next world-changing, life-changing, just absolutely blowing people away.
like globally or locally or just me?
Well, all three.
Okay, so globally, I don't know. Subject my opinion. I can tell you what I hope. People will talk to each other and start to unify a little bit more and quit jumping to conclusions and bullshit, and that would definitely change the world. Um, but I don't know if that'll happen. Hope it does. Locally, hoping we get some more listeners here on this this podcast. That would be great. And more people maybe emailing us or hitting us up on the page. That would definitely, change the world for us locally. For me, man, every day. Every day there's something new that blows my mind, something new to learn, something new to think about every day. So as far as what will happen, nobody knows. You see, like humans are notoriously bad at predicting things, but if I had a hope for what was going to happen, that would be it. So what about you? What you got on that?
I asked the question without really thinking about it.
That's all right.
As far as the next great technological breakthrough.
Yeah, me and Josh are putting each other on the spot today.
Oh, we are, and love it. Love it. It's the greatest thing ever. It's huge.
Huge. It's the greatest. See, Josh is very smart. He's got the words. He's got the best words. He's very educated.
This might be the best words in the history of wording.
Yeah.
I would like to see technology advance to a point where we no longer need war.
Now
things can be decided.
I'm sorry.
In a virtual setting, other than having to cost lives.
Well, I've always said war should be fought by like rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Man, that would save a lot of lives.
But I could see like Idi Amin and Norman Schwarzkopf sitting down at a chess table. That ain't going to end well.
Yeah. Yeah, it would require each to respect the terms of the game and the ending and the result.
The Idi Amin would try to do something. Yeah. Schwarzkopf jump up and beat the shit out of him, and then we're right back there at square one,
Yeah. All right, so I got one for you.
All right.
All right. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm stealing this from Josh. All right, I'm stealing this from you. I hope that's all right.
Absolutely.
It's one we went through. One that you brought up before the show that you just hadn't got to yet. That I found interesting the more I've thought on it, and I just want to throw it at you first, just to be a little kind of an asshole. If
All
that's
right, let's do it.
All right. What event or thing that you heard of as a child that seemed so true in reality, right? That what thing caught you as a child that you thought was so true, had to be real, that you know, you thought that was absolute. Then you grew up and realized not so much. What you got?
I think that we both answered at the same time. Quicksand.
Yeah.
TV and movies always made it out to be way more of a problem.
That shit was everywhere, right? When we were kids, like you were scared to walk through the door in your house because the floor might sink in. You know?
Hell yeah. You know, honestly, and I'm not trying to sound conceited. I'm really not, because I know that there was truth in what they were telling me, and that was that higher education, college, trade schools, and stuff like this was going to be way harder than elementary, middle, and high school. Yeah. And to an extent, it was. But I was one of the few they were lucky enough to have the teachers that didn't
that gave a shit.
The what?
That gave a shit whether you learned it or not.
Yeah. You know, most education these days is just recitation. You're just reciting things. And there's a difference between knowing something and understanding it.
And that is perfect. That is exactly right. You know, unfortunately, I think there's too much emphasis, and this is subjective. This is my opinion on it. I think there's way too much focus on, I guess, regurgitating a grade in a specific class and testing and things like that in school, instead of, hey, here's some important information. Let's see if this child understands it, and if not, let's teach it to them a different way, maybe one-on-one or maybe as a group, whichever one they do better with, and, you know, make it interesting to them, show them how to apply this and that, like math and grammar, things like that. Yeah, sorry, the beer's kicking in. So might be the problem in this show. But as far as education, I think that's important, you know, making sure someone understands something versus, yeah, they can regurgitate it or you know, a day or two later just to pass the test, and then they never have to remember it again and never have to use it again. You know, and think about it. Like, how many times did we hear that as kids? Oh, my camera just went out.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Well, while we're waiting for that to come up, I'm going to tell you a joke. You know why the chicken crossed the road?
Oh, can you see me?
Because he had warrants. All right, now back to the show.
Huh. That's interesting. I got things kicking off all over the place over here on my computer.
That's the reptilian overlords.
Yep. Oh, no. They're spying on me right now. They're looking at all my cameras. Oh, no.
I told you didn't put that tinfoil down thick enough.
Oh, God, they're going to see me. Oh, well, hold on. Let me try a different one. See if it actually works. Am I back now?
Hey, you're back.
Oh, cool. So, sorry, I'm using some software that's new to me, and I'm also trying to figure out what the hell is going on with my computer over here right now. But oh well. So I got some cell phone set up. I'm using cell phone cameras to do this, so I'm sure there's some lag in the video. Sorry about that, guys. Nothing I can really do about it right this minute. And I'm working on an old laptop that, you know, it's doing its job as best it can for the money. So I'm happy with it. I'm sorry if it's, you know, sucks. Yep, there I went again. I'm locked up in the worst frozen face ever.
It might happen to be the worst in history.
Oh, God. There went again. All right, so we're going to go to this old view. Here's the HP webcam. Can you see me?
Yeah.
All right, sorry. For those listening, they're just like, what the fuck is happening? I can't see this asshole anyway. Wish you'd just shut up and get to the point. Sorry, guys. Had some technical difficulties. So, anyway, back to the question. Which was what? Oh, Lord. Yep, that's what I deal with while trying to put an episode together. You know, children doing God knows what. After I've told them, hey, I'm going to record an episode. Let's be quiet. No.
That's all right. Adds character to the show.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. All right, fuck it. I don't even know where we were. Education, I know that, and
yeah,
I was
education.
in some tantrum about that.
That I always thought that college was going to be harder than regular school, and it really wasn't. But I don't know. I think I had a leg up because if I didn't understand something, if I just knew it, I would keep studying until I understood it, and I think it made it a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. Understanding it is different from being able to just repeat it. That's something I think is missing in a lot of education. But man, I don't know what's going on with my laptop here, guys. Sorry. I really hope this audio at least comes out good. So, and let's see. Let me fire one at you here.
All right.
What, in your opinion?
My opinion.
Yep.
All right.
What, in your opinion, will be the next catastrophic event that brings people together? Because we got doomsday preppers, things like that out there, mass conspiracy theorists. They're all like, "Oh, the world's coming into an end like tomorrow." But I'm not saying you're one of those. But in your opinion, what is coming? What's coming at us, Josh?
Damn. You just kind of just throw the door wide open. I mean, I could go off on some really messed up tangents. Well, none of it be true, but you know how I
am. Yeah, like
if you want any idea on the shit I can spend, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just tell you the Kennedy shot first.
Yeah, everybody knows Oswald shot in self-defense.
Yeah, that was it. Anywho.
Well, that's all. Well, you know very well that's because the reptilian overlord looked at him and told him if he didn't do it, that he was going to take his tunic off and show him the junk. So,
how many times I got to tell you not to talk about them? They don't like it, especially in the Earth language.
Sorry, guys, we went on a weird segue there, but I love it. No, but honestly,
one of these days,
what's the next catastrophic event you think, Josh? What do you got?
I don't know, brother. There's about 35, 40 volcanoes prepped to fire off around the world. You got Yellowstone, the super volcano.
Yeah,
if that thing ever goes off, it's
that was where I was headed actually. That could be Yellowstone.
And I mean, in terms of like terrible things, you got California's getting ready to fall off in the fucking ocean. If global warming keeps going and the seas rise 1.5 feet, 70%.
Climate change is the thing. Now we got a group that's just like bullshit.
Well, that's fine. I'll let y'all be the last on the boat. But in terms of like global catastrophe, Yellowstone.
Yeah. That's a good guess.
Something.
Yes. Oh, you still there? Well, we're gonna hold it there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I'm kind of, my internet connection's unstable. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little break, guys, and we'll get back to you. And we're gonna stop it right here. All right, we're back. Yeah.
See that shit? See that? I told you. Put that tinfoil down thick enough, they're gonna get in there and shut you down.
It looks like they did.
I told you.
The
Fucking reptilian overlords and Bribble and all them just up there laughing their asses off at us right now.
the crazy
God.
shit is the last question we had discussed was, what's the next catastrophic event? Well, I'll be damned.
Man,
There it was. Ain't that great? Yeah, on that note. All right. So sorry about that, guys. We're back. Had some technical difficulty with the old computer here. For those of you listening, if you really want to know what happened there, you might want to check out the video on YouTube. I don't even know how to damn describe it. I had a lot of stuff running on my computer, and she's a trustworthy old baby most of the time, but every now and again things happen. It's out of our
sounds conspiratorial.
Oh well. I'm sure there's someone out there going, you see the government shutting them down, man. Maybe shit, I don't know. Present me with
We
some
want you
evidence.
guys to drop us a note in the comments or send us an email. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah. I say throw us a message on Facebook or send us a email at therootofallstuff@gmail.com or on our Facebook page at the root of all stuff. And yeah. Yeah, shit if we know. But we're back. And we were going through questions back and forth, trying to get to the root of, I don't know, stuff and stuff.
And stuff.
So I don't know who asked the last question. I know what the last question was, which is what catastrophic event was happening. So fuck that. We're moving on. Because that was obviously a bad question.
Somebody's listening.
So Josh, what you got? I'm gonna let you lead off on this if you want to.
Let me see here. MTU, this and that and the other one, and all right, here you go.
All right.
What old person things do you do in your life?
Oh my goodness. Well, it depends on who you ask. You ask my family quite a lot. I'll tell you something I did recently. That's an old person thing, maybe. And of course, this is all subjective, but this is, in my opinion, an old person thing. So I got these glasses that y'all, if you've been watching the video, you've seen me wear. These are my prescription glasses because I'm a blind guy. You know what I mean? I'm not the only one that wears glasses. Hold your jokes. Anyway, so I went to the eye doctor just Thursday or Friday. And I went ahead and I love these glasses I have on. For those of you listening, you can't see them, so I'll describe them. They're sort of like more of the sport of their transition lenses, and they're, the smaller lens or the smaller frames and smaller lenses, because I got them a couple years ago when I was younger, dumber, and thought I was a lot cooler than I was, And so this time I went and got me some new glasses that should be coming in probably next month. That are definitely what I would describe as either nerd or grandpa like glasses. The frame on them is quite a bit bigger, so I can actually look up and down and not just see, blur because I ain't looking through the lenses of my glasses. So yeah, that's some old people stuff I've been doing. What you got?
I would have to say mostly for me is just a simple fact that when I get up out of a chair or out of bed, I sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies. I can remember being a kid not hurting so damn bad. You know, I remember being able to sleep outside on the ground and being fine, and now it takes me 3 weeks to get over that shit.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
Oh, hell, I know. I mean, I can relate to that. Hell, I mean, I get up and take a piss in the middle of the night. It sounds like I'm walking through the forest. Just crunch, crunch, pop. I get you, man. All right. So, let me ask you, out of everything you've lived through in your life, and how old are you?
37.
Okay. In 37 years, what single event do you consider the most astounding or the most either catastrophic or the biggest event, basically, is what I'm trying to get at, that you have seen in your lifetime that you remember that you know of?
In my lifetime, damn, that's going back a ways.
Well, I mean, it can even be recent, but I'm just saying, like, in your life, in 37 years.
I've seen a lot. You know,
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to live through some amazing things. But I would have to say that the single most impactful thing that I lived through would have to be 9/11.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh, you know, and yes, it was a terrible tragedy. It brought a lot of people together. It also caused a lot of division. Um, and you know, it just my biggest thing, the saddest thing that I took away from that day after all the smoke had cleared and everything and we had started rebuilding was, you sit down and think about it. I can remember sitting in class watching it thinking this can't be happening. This doesn't happen to us because the people born after that day will never know the world that we knew before it.
No, they'll never know the peace time we had because we've been at war
Just
ever
the
since.
security. Nobody could touch us.
Yeah,
We were untouchable. We were the big dogs on the block. And it didn't take very much at all to change that.
yeah. Well, I remember talking. I spoke before of my grandfather. I remember talking to my grandpa and him telling me, like, that's exactly how things were, with World War II, like right before, Pearl Harbor, we were untouchable and great and wasn't too concerned. It's a shame how history kind of repeats itself. Not to the extent people tend to think it does, because it's not exact. I mean, yeah, bad things happen, and it's a shame. And that day was awful, awful. So many good people that lost their lives way too soon. Um, but like you said, it was both. It was because the aftermath has been a great unifier and a great divider all at once, which is, I know those are polar opposites, but in some ways it united us. In some ways it divided us in new ways we had never even considered before, and it's a shame. But, yeah, what you got, Josh? Go ahead, fire off with the next
Let's see. Who, in your opinion, is the most impressive or influential famous person alive today?
one. Alive today, in my opinion.
I think I know what you're going
Hmm. Man, can you be a little more specific with it? Like, influential in what way? Because we
to say.
got good influences, bad influences. Some
Yeah,
people
I
that
don't, I
influence
don't, I
them.
don't know if I don't know if influential would be the word, but impactful.
Okay, like could change the world,
Right.
in my opinion. And I'm a little biased because I grew up, watching. Uh, I got two that come to mind right offhand, and they're they're very similar in their layout, and they know each other. Uh, Bill Nye, the science guy, of course. I grew up watching him,
Absolutely.
and he's always talked about going to change the world with science. And he was right. I mean, and if people would, maybe go back and watch some of that or listen to him now, we might be in a better spot. And I think he has the best the world, at least as far as I can tell, the best interest of people in mind when he educates. Him and Neil deGrasse Tyson, of course, who is, as he says, your personal astrophysicist, who is amazing, and I love listening to him on Star Talk, things like that. Which and science talk with Bill Nye, but both amazing podcasts. Man, it'd be quite a shock to me and an honor if they ever ran across some of our shows. But well, maybe they might have a bad take of it or something. I don't know. I hope not, because love you guys. Y'all are awesome. If you ever watch that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I hate to keep shooting them back, but that was a good one. What about you? What do you got? What is your opinion on that? What? I'll tell you what. I'll give you two since I took two. All right. What two people are most influential or impactful in a positive manner in today that's alive today?
I would have to agree with you on Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant man, and he doesn't mind explaining things for you so you understand.
Yeah.
Another would be for me would be Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, very much so. SpaceX and everything he's done with that. Yeah, very influential, smart guy, and I kind of get a kick out of him. It takes a special kind of guy, and special not in a bad way, in a positive light, and kind of a neat attitude to take a Tesla car and launch it into orbit. That's cool as shit. I don't care who you are. Come on, guys. I know that there's some people that might be naysayers of them or whatever, but yeah, Elon Musk is definitely an impactful and influential guy. SpaceX, look at what they're doing with NASA and everything. That's very impactful. And as far as the future of space exploration and planetary science and things of that nature, it's wild. So yeah, good call. So Neil deGrasse Tyson, Elon Musk, for you, those are good ones. I like it.
All right. Those would be my two.
I got you. So here's one. Sorry, I think my camera is a little laggy again. Bear with me. Hopefully, we're not going to have any major technical difficulties again. Fingers crossed. But all right. So, who, in your opinion, oh Lord, was your all-time favorite, your all-time, greatest advocate for science? Like, who influenced you the most in your life, in your opinion?
I'm going to have to go with the man that introduced me to science, because I didn't really know a whole lot about science until I saw him on television. And I cannot remember his name, but he used to come on Nickelodeon. He had a show called Mr. Wizard.
Well, let's take a look.
The man, he just did, small little scientific experiments and explained them, simple things. But that was the man that really lit the fire for me. And I was like, hey, that stuff's cool. I want to figure out how it works. And the rest is, well, history.
Well, let's see here. His name was Don Herbert, it looks like.
Don Herbert.
Yeah. Watch Mr. Wizard is an American television program for children that demonstrates the science beyond ordinary things. Show's creator and on-air host was Don Herbert. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just an amazing show to me when I was little. I was like, holy crap.
Holy crap. So the first date of that, the first episode was in 1951. Yeah. The last one was June 27th, 1965. So we were watching reruns of that one.
Holy crap. That I did not know.
Yeah. But see, that's just it. That's why it's also important not to learn just about, now it's important to learn the history of things too, because there's a lot of small, people look back and they're like, oh, people back then didn't know anything, but they're not really giving our species, I think, enough credit. You know, these old people knew what they were doing. Back in the day, knew what they were doing. They were very smart. They just hadn't got to where we are yet. They didn't have the tools quite available yet. But we wouldn't either if those type of people hadn't engineered them and thought them up and came up with all this stuff we have now. So
Exactly. Somebody had to blaze the trail.
yeah, well. All right, what you got, Dutch? Oh, by the
Oh,
way, for everybody who forgot, I lovingly refer to Josh as Dutch every now and again.
and I lovingly refer to Kevin as Branch.
Yeah, they're nicknames.
It's a very long story, and one of these episodes we'll get down to where those names came from.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. Let me see. Let me see. This could be a fairly simple question to answer, but I want you to kind of think about it like not just a broad spectrum answer.
Mhm.
What, in your opinion, has taken up too much of your life?
A specific answer on what's taking up too much time in my life.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Hmm. There's been a lot of things that's taken up a lot of my time that you dwell on. I'm human. I have my regrets, but hmm, I think looking back on it now, hindsight being what it is, 2020, as they say. Um, I think when I was younger, like when I was in school, I spent and I know this is gonna sound broad, but because a lot of people can relate, but for me, it's just true. I spent a lot of time as a child. Well, not, I mean, as a young man, worrying about a lot of the wrong things that didn't matter in reality, but I was not quite wise enough at the time to realize it. Now, that's not an error on any of my parents or anything like that, because they're amazing, and I think they did an amazing job raising me. I had a good upbringing, and I think it turned out okay. I mean, I'm sure people would disagree, and people listening are like, "Yeah, this guy's an asshole." Okay, cool. That's your opinion. That's subjective. But in my opinion, I think I'm all right. But I think I wasted a lot of time as a young man, I say, worrying about shit that just really doesn't matter in reality. And I think I still do that sometimes a lot. I think everybody does. And to be more specific, um, like worrying about uh, you know, relationships, like romantic relationships that as a like middle school, who boyfriend girlfriend crap, that when I should have been paying attention to my schoolwork, which I mean, I think people can relate to that, but I mean, honestly, it took up a lot of time, and you know, how often do those work out? I mean, okay, I'm sure there's a few of you out there like, I married my high school sweetheart, or I've, I've been with my wife now since elementary school, whatever. I don't care. That's fine. That's great, but that's rare. The odds are not good that that works out, right? And I mean, but we're still human. We still have emotions, and we still, want to connect with other people. And I spent a lot of time, in relationships that wasn't going to pan out. I guess that's my best answer for that. For you, what in your child, if you could change, if you could go, all right, if there was a time machine, you could go back in time, change one day in your life, what would it be and what would you change?
How far back are we talking?
Anytime in your life.
Anytime in my life.
Now, Now, I'm also going to exclude any time traveler's paradoxes in here because we all know that I get that. Let's just say, however he changes it worked out for the better and similar. Okay.
I would, well, to be honest with you, I'd go back to first time I got arrested and not do the dumb shit that put me in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I can relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah. Now everybody's like, listen to these criminals. Yeah.
Well, we're not criminals. Everybody makes mistakes.
Sure. Sure.
And we learn from them.
Yeah. Sometimes the hard way, right?
Yeah. Which brings me to the last question that I have wrote down here.
Okay.
Our justice system.
Buckle
up, kids. Yeah. Our justice system is
fucked up.
Well, I'm just going to ask you the question. How would you fix issues that we have in the justice system?
Oh. How would I fix issues that we have in the justice system? One, I would rule out, and now see if this is if I rule the world. Now, this is all highly subjective. But to answer your question, how would I change it? I would first off get rid of anything, including anything about eyewitness testimony, because that has been proven to be so inaccurate in so many ways and not very good evidence. I would get rid of the death penalty. Now, I know I got a lot of people who are like, oof, at that one. No, it ain't because of the killing or any moral standpoint other than I am not confident that we can get that right 100% of the time. Now, here's why, because we have it in the past. We found out after the fact that we had basically killed an innocent person who didn't commit the crime that they were convicted of. Does that make sense? They did like through DNA evidence after it came out, we found out, oh man, we got a few wrong. But see, that's just it. One, all right, so let's say we executed a man who was convicted of murder. So, and then after we executed him, we found out he didn't commit it. Didn't we then just commit, as the justice system, the same crime we convicted that man of? We murdered him, right? I mean, and who holds us accountable as the justice system? You know, it's ridiculous, and that's the only qualms I have against it. I have no problem with, okay, this person committed this crime. You don't, yeah, sure. I have no problem with the killing, or how they, or the death penalty in any other shape or form, other than I don't trust the justice system to get it right 100% of the time. And one innocent dead person is too many. Too many.
I agree.
That's my only issue with the death penalty. Now, as far as the justice system and ways to fix it, I would also like to see a change in how money can get people out of certain things. Just because you're in a position of privilege when you have money, or your ethnicity, which is an ongoing thing. For example, poor man commits a misdemeanor crime. I don't know, something small. All right, pick a misdemeanor, it doesn't matter. And a rich kid who grew up in a rich white neighborhood, and his parents have got plenty of money, does the same thing, the exact same crime, exact same misdemeanor. The odds of the poor kid getting convicted and having to pay fines and go to jail and his sentence, the odds of his sentence being worse is exponentially higher than the person with money who can hire a decent attorney to get them off, or in some cases they're bribing the justice system, things like that. So those are some of the things I would change in the justice system. That was a good question. Now for you, a final question. if you could right now, at the snap of your fingers, like Thanos or something, not wipe the population out, hopefully, but change the world in one way, but whatever way you wanted, but only one way. What way would you change the world?
What way would I change the world? Man, that's a whole book worth of different things you could do. I mean, you could eradicate hunger,
Just
you could eradicate poverty, you could eradicate crime. But if I could snap my fingers and change one thing about the world, it would be to unify all countries in search of a common goal, to get rid of the petty grievances that plague us, and to bring us all together for that common goal, whatever that goal may be, the advancement of civilization, reaching farther into the stars. Um, you know, that would be what I would want to do, because if you can unify people, they're going to understand, well, these people are starving, let's help them. Well, these people don't have what they need, we'll help them. You see what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
That's what I would unify. I would unify the world. I would bring them all together for for a common goal and a common way to get there.
That's an honorable and admirable goal. I appreciate that. That's good. So, guys, how about this? We've asked a lot of questions during this podcast. I invite you to go ahead and message us on our Facebook page or email us at the root of all stuff, one word, at gmail.com, and let us know what your answers to some of these questions. Of course, cite whatever question we have asked and give us your answer. Give us your opinion. Give us your, thoughts on this. And also, don't hesitate to let us know what you want to hear about in future episodes, what you want to hear less of maybe in future episodes. Any way we can make the show better or more entertaining or better to listen to for you, because you, our audience, is who we're doing this for, at that and ourselves, because we enjoy doing it. But yeah, thank you guys for sitting through it and listening to us and sticking with us. And Josh, say goodbye.
Always remember, boys and girls, some people just want to watch the world learn, and we want to watch it a little more aggressively than most.
Yep, that's a good one. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. And if you stay tuned to our Facebook page, I'll try to actually be a little better about getting on that and posting, and me and Josh will get together and plan out our next episode and let you know when that's coming. We will plan to have our next episode planned, meaning we'll have a schedule coming for the next episode when it'll be coming out. Hopefully by at least let's see, today is January 23rd, Saturday. So what do you think, Josh? You think we can get on the plan by Tuesday? This coming Tuesday?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I do too. I think we should be good with that. So by Tuesday, January 26th, we will have posted on our Facebook page when our next episode is going to come out. It will be in February. We know that now, so we can go ahead and tell you. But we don't know what day in February. We're actually going to get it out and post it. But we'll put the recording date, and then when we'll release it on Tuesday the 26th. And so please join us and stay tuned, and we'll talk to you guys soon.